Hi, I'm Janet Bosserman with the Double Arc Center for FASD at A Renewed Mind with Sister Suzette Fisher, and she's the co-founder of the Double Arc Center for FASD. And we would like to thank Steve Taylor and Tom Cole of the Taylor Automotive family for making this production possible. We wanted to just bring you up to date on a lot of things that happened in the past year. And we know that if you're listening to this, you're one of our loyal supporters, someone that's been actively engaged with Double Arc for many, many years, probably more than 10 or 15. We hope we have some new people that are learning about Double Arc, but we just really wanted you to hear from Sister Suzette, who missed our big kaleidoscope event last year, and then get an update on what we've been doing at Double Arc this past year. So we're so glad that you stayed to tune in and are viewing us today, and we hope to give you some information, and we are so glad that you care about Double Arc and want to learn more about it. So sister, this has been quite a year for you.
It has been.
And just about a little over a year ago at this time, in October when our kaleidoscope event is, you had every intention of being there, but you were coming back from Washington, D.C. at the National Organization on FAS meeting, which you've attended almost every year, I think. Mm-hmm. And what happened to you?
Well, I was on my way home. I was at the airport, got a shuttle bus to where my car was. And after the driver gave us our luggage, I was trying to put my pieces together so I could get it to my car. And the driver backed up and knocked me over, ran over both my legs, and he was going to go forward then. I suppose he recognized that he ran over something, and I was still under the van, so I had to quickly roll out from under the van so he wouldn't run over me again. And then a couple that was in the van with me heard me scream and ran out and helped me. And actually, they were both doctors. One was a pediatrician, and the other was a doctor. And I don't know what kind of doctor she was, but he stayed with me, called 911, and stayed with me till the ambulance came. And finding out after that, I had a crushed artery in my left leg, and 3 broken bones in my right leg. The crushed artery was fixed first. I went to Beaumont Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan, and then they worked on the crushed artery, fixed that, and then the bones. And then I was there for I think about 10 days, and then was transferred to St. Charles inpatient acute rehab in Oregon. I was there for quite some time until I was able to walk enough so that I could go home. I was probably out of work for a little over 4 months, and coming up on the anniversary, September 27th. And then I was back to work for about a month, and then COVID hit.
So I had the pleasure of visiting you a number of times, and I know that people who know Sister Suzette know that she had that indomitable spirit to get through all of this. There were some pretty tough days for you, mm-hmm. and I know that there was some really serious medical complications.
Yes.
And so I'm just thrilled, and Double Arc is thrilled that you've recovered nicely and you're trying to get back into your former strength. But we certainly missed you at the event last year, and we certainly missed you when you were off. And we're glad to have you back and looking so healthy. And COVID did change things for Double Arc. How did that affect, other than the fact that you are now sitting in your apartment every day, day upon day, and you had been sitting in your apartment since the hospitalization. So I guess it was a little bit isolating for you, as many people are finding. But how about our clients? How did they react to trying to do telehealth?
Yeah, well, one thing I'd like to say first is that I'm very grateful to all those who prayed for me during that time. I really attribute my recovery to all those people. So with COVID, our clients seem to be okay with starting telehealth. So we would schedule meetings with the clients via Life-Size is our platform. It's similar to Zoom. And it was working out pretty well, not perfect, but at least we were able to connect for quite some time. One of the things that it hindered was our diagnostic process. So we were not able to see our patients for diagnosis April and May. We were able to do that once we got all our the regulations ready so that we could have people back in the office. So starting in June, we were able to get our diagnostic process up again. But the clients have been very patient with us, and Bree is back in the office now a couple days a week to see patients face to face at a distance and using the COVID regulations. So that's working out really well.
I think we should also give a shout out to Bree and the whole team at ARM that supports Double Arc because Bree really jumped in and took a lot of the responsibilities that you had and tried to keep things moving and going, and she did a really good job of it. And so did the rest of the ARM staff that supports Bree. So it was great to have that support, and we're very thankful for it. Tell us some of the accomplishments that you think that Double Arc has achieved, say in the last year or so, some new things that we've introduced, and just your thoughts on where we're at today since you founded Double Arc 28 years ago.
Well, I think one of the newest programs we have is called Families Moving Forward, and we were able to have Bree trained in that. It's part of a counseling kind of thing, but it's a very intense program that works with parents to help them better understand their child's challenges and do more strategic parenting with them. It's been very successful so far. It's actually a 16-week program, or 16-week sessions, or 16 sessions that she works with the family very intensely, and I think it has been very successful. One of the things, we have our parent support group. We've been having just one a month, and we added a second one. So we have them the second Tuesday of the month in the evening, and we added the fourth Monday of the month in the morning. So it gives parents an opportunity to choose one or the other. And I think that's been very successful. We've had parents from all over the country. Even we had a parent from Vancouver, Canada. And one exciting one was from Hong Kong. That was really exciting. And so we've had them from California, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Indiana, Michigan, just many different places. That's been very successful.
And that's something we do really more as a community service. The reason we started it is because really Double Arc was one of the first organizations in the country outside of Seattle, Washington, that really got into a full continuum of care for treating children with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders and working with the families and the parents. And we just sort of, you always, as educators, the Sisters of Notre Dame, always had that education, like if we can pass on the information we know. And we've just sort of kept that spirit up over the years and try to help as many as we can. It's a great way for parents to learn from other parents. And as you know, it's not an epidemic in America, it's an epidemic worldwide when mothers drink during pregnancy.
And actually, Sterling Claring says it's a pandemic.
Well, it is a pandemic.
Because it's around the world.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the latest research of the prevalence of FASDs in children.
The latest research I know is from Philip May's study. He looked at 4 different regions in the country and studied first graders in those areas. and found that 1 in 20 school-age children could be on the fetal alcohol spectrum.
Mhm.
1 in 20, and that's probably a low estimate. This is very prevalent,
Mhm.
more than we know.
And even since Philip May did that, there have been studies that have said that they predict that 1 in 9 children could be born with fetal alcohol exposure. It goes very much undiagnosed, and that's why there's a discrepancy in numbers. They really don't know the full extent, but even 1 in 20 or 1 in 9, whichever it is, it's just one too many, because we have worked with those children and we feel badly that anyone has to be saddled with some of the problems that they will have to deal with.
Yes.
So do you think that since you started 28 years ago to now that women are getting the message that it is harmful to drink during pregnancy, or is there still a portion of women that don't hear that?
I think many women do hear it. I'm sure there's a lot who don't, but and in some cases they hear it, but they don't realize how damaging it is and how the lifelong implications for these children. They may not realize that. And you know, a woman doesn't have to have alcoholism to have a child with FASD. Casual drinking can cause it. Many times women don't realize they're pregnant for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and have been drinking and end up with a child on the fetal alcohol spectrum.
Right. And we unfortunately know that there is a percentage of women that do binge drink, and especially in the first trimester. But we've also always said that no woman intentionally wants to hurt her baby. So it's a matter of education. It's a matter of changing behaviors once you know it.
Right.
And honestly, you have told me so many times that women who have a child with FASD, who's the biological mother, was surprised and tearful when they learned that it was preventable. They just didn't know it,
Right.
or they got conflicting advice.
Yeah, doctors are still saying it's okay to drink.
Yeah.
Here, you know, a little here and there. Well, what is a little here and there, depending on the woman?
Right, and it could be in some, but what I've heard people say, I think, is the best advice is, why take the risk?
Absolutely.
Why take the risk? It's one thing that you can be for sure that you won't have in your child. There's a lot of other child birth defects that may not be preventable, and this is preventable.
Right.
So I'm glad to hear that more women, I do sense that more young women of this age that are able to be pregnant are hearing it, and seem shocked that most people don't know that, but it's different. It takes generations to change behavior.
Right.
We're coming up on this, and we've just had a very interesting kaleidoscope event. And what are the kinds of things that the donations that we raise would go for? Why is it that we are still asking for money in this our 28th year of Double Arc, and how important is that to still fund what we do?
Yes. Well, the whole diagnostic process is not a money maker at all. We do get some funding through Medicaid and some insurance, but it's not very much. And the whole diagnostic process is very intense, from the beginning that we meet the child until we actually have a diagnosis. And just putting the report together, it takes a lot of time and energy. So that's one thing, the whole diagnostic process. And we don't get funded for our parent support groups. Also, what was I thinking?
I don't know, but a lot of the administrative costs.
Oh, yes.
Just the website, the Facebook page, there's just a lot of administrative costs associated with it. Luckily, we have wonderful generous donors, many foundations that support us.
And I get calls from outside of people that are ARM clients So I might get calls from other states
Mm-hmm.
to talk to a parent about what's going on and give them some advice as to where to go and what to do.
Right. So that's where that kind of funding would come in. So I just wanted to close and thank you, Sister Suzette, for all your years of service for Double Arc. It's amazing.
Thank you, Janet, for being our fearless leader.
But I would like to also mention to you, any of you that may be watching us now, if you would like to donate, you can text ARM to 41444 and a pop-up screen comes up and you can give by credit card that way. You could also go to the doublearc.org website or the renewedmindservices.org website, and there's a nice donate page there. And we always accept checks in the mail, and if you ever have a question, just give us a call, and we'd be glad to help facilitate any way that you might want to give. But we appreciate that Taylor Automotive family is so supportive of our efforts and allowed us this time to do this production, and we just wish you a good day, and we thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you, everybody.